Hello everyone, my name is Ricky. Today I'm going to talk about IT contracting in UK in 2019. First I want to introduce myself. I'm a software engineering. I work in I work in UK in the last 10 years in different sectors like railway, oil and gas, data storage. So in the last, I worked 5 years a permanent job and then 5 years as a contractors. So I'm going to talk about today's topic is about why, there's a four topic I want to cover today. First is why do I do IT contracting work in UK? Second one is that is it easy to find a contracting job in UK? Third one is what are the pros and cons to work as a contractor in UK? The fourth one is that what I think is going to happen from April 2010 when IR35 apply to the private sectors. What are the effects for the contractors? So the first one is why do I do IT contracting? I was moving from a switch from a permanent job to contracting. At the time, I was the lead engineering to work in a company. The reason for that is I feel there's a lack of career progress because I switched from engineering to senior and then to a lead. But this is how much you can get normally for a permanent job. So there's no unless you want to move to management, there's no much career progress. Basically, he's still doing, the same thing or the same product for the next number of years. So, and at the time there's a contracting opportunity coming, as I say, well, okay, maybe I'll give it a try. At least this offers some benefit, in terms of contracting. Personally, I think the big benefit is the flexibility, which I'll come to explain later on. The second point is that is it easy to find a contracting job in UK? I think in any job market, it's all about supply and demand. So in UK, there's big shortage in terms of engineering supply, which means that yes, it is easy to find a job, software engineering job in UK. In addition, most of the company, even in a traditional mechanical based company like oil and gas kind of thing, they require more and more software engineering, because one of the reasons is that there is lots of things become digitalized and then more and more electronic, advanced electronic, which means that there are more and more integration kind of work and also software development work, which previously rely on the mechanical, but now they're all electronic controls, which means that they need lots of skilled software engineers to do the work. So there's a big supply, which is quite good for contracting as well. So there's a lot of companies, they want to pay more to get a good engineering. So this is the current market. I think this is not going to change in the next few years in UK. So there will be still shortage. So the third point is what are the pros and cons to work as a contractor in the UK? So when I started as contracting, what attracted me is when I first started is the money. So you typically get paid more, like 2 or 3 times than a permanent job. But it's the other benefit, like you pay less tax, and also you can claim the expensive. Like if you travel to a client site, you can deduct for your mileage, the petrol cost. Plus, if you visit your clients, you can eat lunch, for example. You can go back, full day visit. You can also claim the meal as a travel expenses as well. So there's some other benefit, from a financial point of view, to be good to be a contractor. And one thing I want to clarify is that even the client might pay you 2 or 3 times, than the permanent, but I won't get 2 or 3 times pay because I have to pay my, you know, the sick leave, holiday pay, etc., which will be covered later. So the big advantage to be a contracting is the flexibility. That's far more important than the money, because the flexibility, which means that I know lots of people that take more than one job at a time. So, for example, I know people working in university as a part-time lecturer, but also he work as engineering and development team, and also other people work as one client from Monday to Tuesday, and then another client for the rest of the week. So that brings a lot of flexibility in terms of who you want to work and where you want to work. Um, Again, is the holiday as well. So if you think about, if you're permanent, you only get 25 days holiday, but I know lots of people, they, as a contractor, you can take 3 months off in a year, for example. So that's kind of the flexibility. I think is the key to be a contracting. So what are the comms for contracting? I think is lots of people saying is the insecurity. Basically, there's a lot of risk where the project might be cancelled, and then once the project cancelled, you just out of doors straight away. So this is the thing. So to be a contractor, the first thing really have to be very, very confident. If you worry about finding a new job or next project, then you better to looking for a permanent job. But nowadays, I don't think there's such thing called permanent anymore, because any job, the company could blast, or the job could be moved to a different country. So there's no such thing called permanent or security. But in some way, yeah, it's still lot security than the contractor. The permanent job still lot security than the contractor. Other comms is there's no training, there's no holiday pay, there's no sick leave. So that's why the contractor normally get 2 or 3 times pay than the normal employee, because that's the additional cost. You got to pay, the contractor have to be pay himself, with no, with additional accountancy fee, with no holiday, with no sick leave kind of thing. So the last thing I want to say is that what's going to change, in 2020, when the IS35 apply in the private sector. I think, the IS35 issue has been talked about for years and years, in particular when I first started contracting, where I was worried too much about, is my contract inside or outside IS35? So I think that in the past, it's just applied for the public sector. So if you're inside IS35, which means that there's a loss of, it's all about tax issues. Basically means that you've been treated as like an employee. So basically that you get less, you get no tax benefit, so you better to be a permanent if the pay, if the daily rate or hours is not high enough to cover that. So now from 2020 April, the government want to apply this rule in the private sector, which is the sector I'm working on, like oil and gas, oil, railway, data storage, kind of thing. I think either the client and the client have to realize that this is not going to work, because all the contractor will increase their rate by 20-30%, because if they change their status from outside to inside R35, or they have to find a way where work with agents to find a way to say how to comply with the rule to make sure we as a contractor is still outside IS35, which means that the contractor is happy, they want to stay longer. Another possibility is that if like any business, they don't want to take a risk. If you want to ask your client, most of the clients have no idea what IS35 means. When they ask, do you want in and out? They will take the lower risk one, which is they put everyone inside IS35 from April next year. So if that's happened, well, the other possibility is that the contractor will work less hours just to make sure that you get all of take the flexibility to work somewhere else or do something else, because there's no tax benefit to do that. So hopefully today's topic is going to help for someone or someone looking for IT contracting. So if there are any questions, please leave me a message. I'll try to explain or answer your questions. Thank you very much. See you next time.